All right. Testing my mic here. Testing. All right, that sounds good. Okay, cool. Now that that's done, let me just switch to my coding overlay here. And there we go. Let me just readjust all of this here. Okay, cool. So, welcome back to the stream. We're gonna continue with the JavaScript course from Brocode, and I'm happy to say we crossed the halfway mark yesterday, and yeah, I'm excited as always to see what all things we're gonna learn today. So, without any more introductory jargon, let me just get started with it. Let me just so the resolution is correct, everything looks good, and everything looks good on stream. So, and there we go. Great. So yesterday we left off at the destructuring segment. Destructuring is just that given an object, given a JavaScript object, you can do this apparently. This is called object destructuring. There's also array destructuring where it's pretty similar to how you do it in Python, except you need to use the brackets that you have in arrays. They're called square brackets, right? You have to use square brackets. You can also use it to swap elements, which I didn't know was a feature in Python too. But yeah, I learned something new yesterday. Alright, so let's continue and move to the next segment, which is nested, which is called nested objects.
So, yeah, we're doing a thing today. Today I gotta explain nested objects in JavaScript. Nested objects are objects inside of other objects. They allow you to represent more complex data structures. A child object is enclosed by a parent object. By using nested objects, we have the capability of creating some very complex data structures. For example, a person object could contain an address object, as well as a contact info object, or a shopping cart object. Each item in your shopping cart is an individual object, such as a keyboard, a mouse, or a monitor. Each of these child objects would have their own properties and methods. For example, a price, a name, specifications on the item, a shipping method. Nested objects are just objects inside of other objects. Let me give you a basic example. We'll create a person object. Const person equals an object. We need a set of curly braces. A person might have a full name property. I will set that to be SpongeBob in this example. SpongeBob SquarePants. An age of 30. Is SpongeBob a student? Is student. He's in voting school, so let's say that's true.
Chris really likes SpongeBob, I guess.
To declare an array, you need to set a straight brackets.
Always uses that as an example.
He knows karate. He does jellyfishing. I need one more. Let's say that he enjoys cooking. Now we're going to create a nested object. This person object will have an address object. So we need to set curly braces. A few of the properties of the inner address object could be a street. SpongeBob has an address of 124 Conch Street. His city will be Bikini Bottom. And a country. We won't do a full address, but I think this is good enough for this example. So SpongeBob lives in the ocean. Let's say that his country is international waters. I'll just abbreviate international. Our person object has a nested address object inside of it. To access some of these properties of our person object, we would type the name of the object, use the property accessor, which is dot, then the name of the property. Full name. SpongeBob SquarePants. Let's print his age. 30. Is SpongeBob a student? That is true. I'm going to display the array of hobbies. Person.hobbies. This will give you an array. But if you need individual elements, you have to list an index number. So hobbies at index 0 would be karate. 1 is jellyfishing. Index 2 is cooking. Let's console.log our person object dot the address object. This would return an entire object. If you need one of the properties within this object that's within the person object, you have to follow the inner object with the property accessor again, that dot. Person.address.street, which would give you 124 Conch Street. The city, person.address.city, Bikini Bottom, person.address.country, international waters. So when accessing a property within a nested object, you have to use the property accessor twice, that dot. If you would like to loop through the properties of a nested object, you can write a for loop like this. For const property in person.address console.log, take our person object, access the nested object, address, then use the index of operator, the straight brackets, give me the current property. And there we are. All right, let's make something a little more complicated. We're going to create a class that...
For const, key in basic property just refers to key, right? Key property or address, we're just listing out all the
current property.
Address parts here.
All right, let's make some...
Let's just write that loop real quick. So, for cons key and person dot address, we'll just log person dot address and whatever key that it is that they have. Let's start the server. I realize I didn't do that, and of course, change from Edge to Chrome here, and then up this. Alright, that works.
Something a little more complicated. We're going to create a class that utilizes nested objects. So we will begin with class address. Our class will have an constructor. For an address, we need these three things. Feel free to add more if you would like. A street, city, and country. Then we'll assign these properties. This.street equals street. This.city equals city. This.country equals country. Now we'll create a person class. Class person. Our person class will also have a constructor. We'll need a name, age, and an address. For the address, I'm going to use rest parameters. We can pass in different parts of an address and store it within an array. When we create a person object, we will assign this.name equals name. This.age equals age. Now for the address, we're going to construct an address object. This.address equals a new address. We're going to call the constructor of our address class and pass in our address.
Alright. Name, age, and then why did he use the spread operator there?
This.age, different parts of an address, name, age, and an address. For the address, I'm going to use rest parameters. We can pass in different parts of an address and store it within an array. When we create a person object,
Oh, I see. And stored within an array. Wait.
we will assign the address. I'm going to use rest parameters. We can pass in different parts of an address and store it within an array.
So basically, what he's saying is that we use the I thought this was called the spread operator, but it's also called the it's called the spread operator, but I guess you can also call it the rest operator. Anyhow, using the rest operator there would convert a rest, or in general using the rest property on an object would convert it into an array. Apparently, let's just see if that's true. We'll check that out in a bit here. Let's just do this dot name this page. And before we do the address part, let's just create a new address. And we call it sponge address. New address. What is it? 124 Conch Street, and city is gonna be Bikini Bottom, and then country is gonna be, we just call it, I will just use the same names. Okay. So let's console.log SpongeBob address, and then we'll console.log it again, but this time use the spread operator. We use it in an array. Alright, we can't. So correction, I think this operator is called the rest operator when used in a function, and it might like pass in the individual properties as such, perhaps. SpongeBob address. Okay, here's what we'll do. Rest operator and spread operator. Yeah. Okay, what's the difference? Yeah. But these two operators are not the same. Okay, so they're not the same. All right. For instance, consider this code that uses rest to enclose some values into an array. Oh, all right. Okay, okay. The, oh, of course. This is the args equivalent in Python, right? Not star args. That's for quarks. Star args. Okay. Um. All right. Okay. Show me the spread operator. About rest, show me the spread operator. Expanded triples. Okay, cool.
When we create a person object, we will assign this.name equals name, this.age equals age. Now for the address, we're going to construct an address object. This.address equals a new address.
And we'll, since it's going to be I see where it's going. Since this is gonna be streets, like we don't need to pass it individually. We can use the spread operator here to put each element on its own, right? So maybe this is what he's going for.
We're going to call the constructor of our address class and pass in our address. I'm going to utilize the spread operator to spread our address.
Okay, all right, and I believe I'm cleared on what the difference between spread and rest operator is now.
We'll send our address object a street, city, and country. All right, let's construct some of these person objects. Const person1 equals a new person. This will call the constructor, but we have to pass in arguments to match the parameters. A name, we'll just do a first name to keep it short. An age, SpongeBob will be 30. We also need an address, a street, city, and country. 124, Const Street. City will be Bikini Bottom. His country will be International Waters. And just for readability, I'm going to put the address on a new line. Let's create person 2. Person 2 will be Patrick, age 37. Patrick will live on 128 Conch Street. He'll have the same city and the same country. Then let's make person 3. Person 3 will be Squidward, age 45. Squidward will live on 126 Conch Street. All right, let's see if this all worked. Console.log. Let's start with person 1. Person1.name, which is SpongeBob, age 30.
And let's just quickly create the other two. Just move it here just to keep consistency, you know. And
Let's get his address. Address, and this returns an object, which is good. That's what we wanted. We have a nested object, an address object. For some of the
see, this was done successfully, and yep, it was.
properties within that address object, we have a street, city, and country. We use the property accessor again of dot. Give me the street, 124 Conch Street, the city, Bikini Bottom, and the country, International Waters. All right, let's confirm this with person 3, just to be sure it all works. Person 3, give me the name, Squidward, age 45. Address gives me an object. We'll use the property accessor again. Give me the street, 126 Conch Street, the city, Bikini Bottom, and the country, International Waters. This will also all work for person 2, if it worked with person 1 and 3. All right, everybody, so those are nested objects. They're objects inside of other objects. They allow you to represent more complex data structures. A child object is enclosed by a parent object. In this example, our address is the child object of the person object. We're creating a new object within our person object. And well, everybody, those are nested objects in JavaScript. Hey, what's up, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how we can work with an array of objects in JavaScript. What we'll do is create an array of fruit objects. We'll create 5 fruit objects. To create an object, you need a set of curly braces. Each object will be comma separated. Just for my own readability, I'm going to place each object on a new line. Objects can have their own unique properties and methods. Our first fruit object will have a name of apple, a color of red, and calories, meaning calories per serving, of 95. This is our first object. Let's copy these properties, paste them for object 2, change name to be orange. Color will also be orange. Calories, 45. Object 3, name will be banana. Color, yellow. Calories, 105. Object 4, coconut. Color, white. Calories, 159. Then our last object will be pineapple. Color, yellow. Calories, 37. All right, and here's our array of objects.
I'll just write that real quick. I mean, if a coconut is white in color, so should be a banana, right? And pineapple should be, yeah, it's yellow, yeah, but if you consider the shell, it's kind of like brownish yellow thingy.
There's a lot we can do with this. To
Yeah.
create a property within one of these objects of your array, you would take the array, in this case fruits, add an index number, dot the name of the property. For example, name. I need the name property of the first object, which would be apple. So let's test that. Console.log. What is the name property of our array fruits at index 0? That would be apple. 1 is orange, 2 is banana, 3 is coconut, 4 pineapple. Let's select a different property. Let's go with the calories. 95, 45, 105, 159, 37. That's how to access a property within an array of objects. To add a new object, you can use the push method. Let's take our array of fruits, use the push method. We will push a new object into our array. The name will be grapes. Color, purple. Calories, 62. Then let's console.log our array. Console.log fruits. So we have 6. Apple, orange, banana, coconut, pineapple, and grapes, which I misspelled. Grapkiz. You can use the pop method to remove an element. 6. Apple, orange, banana, coconut, pineapple. Log our array. Console.log fruits. So we have 6. Apple, orange, banana, coconut, pineapple, and grapes, which I misspelled. Grapkiz. You can use the pop method to remove an element. Fruits.pop. This should remove pineapple. Apple, orange, banana, coconut, no pineapple. Or splice.
Splices to do just array indexing, Python slicing, uh, and JavaScript. So
Splice will remove elements at certain indices. Fruits.splice.
with remove. Oh, of course. I guess was it slice then which, yeah, slice is the one which allows us to do Python indexing. So this should get this 0 1 2 and this. So orange to coconut should, yeah. Yep. So splice is new, I
No
believe
pineapple.
then.
Or splice. Splice will remove elements at certain indices.
Mhm.
Fruits.splice. Let's select indices 1 through 2. All we're left with is apple, coconut, pineapple.
1 to 2. So that even the end indexes counted. Sorry, yeah. So oh, hold on a second.
Let's select indices 1 through 2. All we're left with is apple, coconut, pineapple.
Uh, um we are using splice, right? Splice. Oh, okay. So this removes it from the list, but returns the values which were removed. Kind of like how Pop does it in Python. Maybe it does the same in JavaScript too. And if you log fruits now, those two, that is orange and banana, should be gone. That's not gonna lie, that's gonna be a handy function, a handy method to use.
You can use the for each method to loop through the elements of your array. Let's display each object's name. Fruits.forEach. We need to call back a function expression or an arrow function. Let's use an arrow function. For every fruit, do this. Console.log each fruit. This will return entire objects. From one of the properties, we'll select dot the property name. We have all the fruit names. Let's go with the colors and the calories. There we are. There's also the map method. The map method will run each element through a function and return a new array. Let's create an array of fruit names.
Didn't we already go through all these methods?
Const fruit names equals take our array of fruits, use the built-in map method. We'll use an arrow function. For every fruit, arrow.
Okay. Yes, this is for practice maybe. So I guess when there's one param, you don't need to give it brackets, perhaps. Anyway, I'll give it brackets. You know. So, for every fruit, return fruit dot name. We log that in. Yeah, there you go. That worked.
Return the fruit's name. Then we will console.log our array of fruit names. And here's our array of fruit names. Let's do this with colors. Fruit colors. Return every color property of each fruit. Then console.log our fruit colors. Red, orange, yellow, white, yellow. Let's do this with calories. Fruit calories. Return each calories property. Console.log our fruit calories array. So the map method will return a new array. Let's cover filter. Filter will return a new array after using each element and checking a condition. Let's return a new array where the color of each fruit is yellow. There's two. Const yellow fruits equals take our array of fruits.
Wait, I'll do that by myself first. Let's do this and what happened here? Colors. Oh, it's supposed to be just color.
Okay, where the color of each fruit is yellow. There's
The color of each fruit is yellow. Okay. So yellow fruit. Dot filter. Taken the fruit and return this fruit dot color should be strictly equal to yellow, and see which are the yellow fruits. So yellow fruits, which are banana and pineapple.
two. Const yellow fruits equals take our array of fruits. Use the filter method. We have one parameter, a fruit, arrow, then a condition. We'll return this fruit if the fruit's color property is strictly equal to yellow. Then console.log our array of yellow fruits. And there's two, bananas and pineapples. Their colors are both yellow. Let's create a new array of any fruits that are low in calories, where the calories are below 100. Const low cal fruits. Take our array of fruits. Use the built-in filter method. For every fruit, arrow, check the calories of each fruit. Is it less than 100? If it is, put it within this new array. And here we are. We have three fruits that are low in calories. Apple, orange, pineapple. The calories are 95, 45, 37. They're all less than 100. Let's find any high-calorie fruits. Change our array to be high-cal fruits, where the calories of each fruit is greater than or equal to 100. Console.log our array of high-cal fruits. There are two. Bananas and coconuts. The calories are 105 and 159. Let's use the reduce method now. I'll admit this is going to be a little tricky, but I'll try my best to walk you through it. The reduce method will return a single value, in this case, an object, one of these objects. Let's
But what do you want to return?
return the object with the greatest amount of calories.
The greatest amount of calories. Okay, all right. And call it heavy fruit. So we'll use the reduce here. What is reduce, right? Maybe it reverses the array or something. All right, so fruit should reduce takes in a fruit and it checks. Oh, wait, it should take two parameters. Uh, fruit previous and fruit current, and it returns fruit. Well, first it checks for whether the fruit, if the previous fruit calories are greater than the current fruit or calories, then return the previous fruit calories as not calories, return the previous fruit, else return the current fruit. That should tell me which is the heaviest or more calorie intense fruit of them all, which should be coconut, I believe, right? I mean, I don't remember the calories, but yeah, it is coconut. Let's just use that. And yeah, there we go. That worked.
We'll store that within a constant. Const max fruit equals take our array of fruits, use the reduce method. There's going to be two parameters: an accumulator, which keeps track of the greatest value during each iteration, and the next element. But I think we should rename these. Let's rename our accumulator as max. It's going to be the current record holder of the object with the greatest amount of calories. Element will be fruit, meaning the next fruit. Here are the two parameters. Arrow, what are we going to check? Is our fruit, the next fruit in line, are the calories greater than our current record holder's calories? Max.calories. Just for readability, I'm going to put this on a new line. We're going to use the ternary operator. Is this true? Does the next fruit have more calories than our record holder? If it does, we'll return our fruit, meaning the next fruit. Colon, meaning otherwise, return the max again. Let's see if this works. Let's console.log our fruit with the maximum amount of calories, which is our coconut, with 159 calories. If you just need the calories, you would type .calories. That will just give you the calories. But in this case, we're returning an entire object. Let's find the fruit with the least amount of calories. Let's copy our code, paste it, and make a few changes. Min fruit, change max to be min. The condition will be, is the calories of the next fruit less than the calories of the minimum record holder? Then console.log our min fruit, which is our pineapple, with 37 calories. All right, everybody, so those are a few ways in which you can work with an array of objects. There's a lot you can do with them. You can map, you can filter, you can reduce, you can slice, you can pop, you can push, all sorts of things. And well, that is an example of an array of objects in JavaScript. Yo, so what's up? Today I'm going to be talking about the sort method in JavaScript. The sort method is used to sort elements of an array in place. However, with the sort method, we sort elements as strings in lexicographic order, not alphabetical. If I could summarize what lexicographic means, it means alphabet plus numbers plus symbols as strings.
Okay, lexicographic. I've heard of it, but I have not known what it is or never googled it. So lexicographic means
Strings. Let me give you lexicographic order, not alphabetical. If I could summarize what lexicographic means, it means alphabet plus numbers plus symbols as strings. Let me give you an example with just alphabetical characters. I have an array of fruits. To sort this array, I can take the array name fruits, use the built-in sort method, then console.log my array of fruits. Let me expand this. And here's my array, all sorted. When sorting, we treat any elements as strings. What if my array were numbers? I'll add the numbers 1 through 10 in a somewhat random order. Let's change our array to be numbers. Numbers.sort console.log numbers. Here's the result. We have 1, then 10. Then the rest seem to be in order. We're not sorting this array numerically. We're sorting this array lexicographically. We're treating each of these numbers as strings. That's why we have 1, then 10. 10 isn't at the end where we expect it would be.
oh wait a second. Okay. Um what you're trying to tell me is that by default the sort function works well for strings, but it doesn't work well for numbers. I didn't expect that because I would have expected the reverse because programming language and numbers go hand in hand. But yeah,
Let's change our array to be numbers. Numbers.sort console.log numbers. Here's the result. We have 1, then 10. Then the rest seem to be in order.
because this is like treated as a string. So one, then like if I had 2, 3, 5, 7, 7, 6, like a very huge number which begins with 2, it will come here, I believe, right?
We're not sorting this array numerically. We're sorting this array lexicographically. We're treating each of these numbers as strings. That's why we have 1, then 10. 10 isn't at the end where we expect it would be. There's a couple extra steps we need to do involving sorting numbers. Inside of the sort method, we have to write a custom comparison function. This is normally a callback, but you can write a function expression, or even better yet, an arrow function. We'll write an arrow function in this case. Let me zoom in. With an arrow function, first
Like a key
we'll have
function.
parameters a and b. We'll examine two contiguous elements. 1 then 10, 10 then 2, 2 then 9, 9 and 3, so on and so forth. Then we need an arrow. Then we'll write a minus b. Our function a minus b will return either a negative, 0, or positive value, depending on what values we're examining. The sort method will sort those values into place depending on what the value returned is. Our array should be sorted. You can see that 10 is at the end, instead of right after 1. For reverse order, you could say b minus a.
Sorry, go ahead.
10 is at the values we're examining. The sort method will sort those values into place depending on what the value returned is. Our array should be sorted. You can see that 10 is at the end, instead of right after 1. For reverse order,
I didn't quite get the logic that is used here.
we'll have parameters a and b. We'll examine two contiguous elements. 1 then 10, 10 then 2, 2 then 9, 9 and 3, so on and so forth. Then we need an arrow. Then we'll write a minus b. Our function a minus b will return either a negative, 0, or positive value. Depending on what values we're examining. The sort method will sort those values into place depending on what the value returned is.
Alright, okay.
Our array should be sorted. You can see that 10 is at the end.
because 1 minus 10 is -9, and -9 gets put to the end because that's the biggest, like, difference you can have, right? I mean, or smallest difference you can have. Okay. Do that. We'll also try one more thing out here. Hmm. Let's see what. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense actually. Um. So I was about to say, let's see what happens if we um. After that doesn't work. It's also based on the value.
Instead of right after 1. For reverse order, you could say b minus a. Now we're starting with 10 and ending with 1. You can even sort objects by given property. Let's go over that example. We will create an array of people. Const people.
I didn't quite get this. Sort in JS. Numbers are sorted as strings. 24 is bigger than 100 because 2 is bigger than 1. Because compare function. So it takes 40 and 100 here at the beginning. 40 minus 100 is -60. Oh, okay, I see. Calculate 40 minus 100 and -60. The sort function will sort 40 as a lower value than 100. Oh, I see. And if the difference is positive, then that means the first number is greater. With zero, then there's the same number. It uses that logic there.
People equals. This will be an
Great.
array. We'll include 4
Good to
objects,
know.
all comma separated. The first will have a name property of SpongeBob, age 30, and a GPA. GPA 3.0. I'm going to zoom out. For the next object, just going to put that on a new line. Let's copy all these properties, change name to be Patrick, age will be 37, GPA 1.5. Again, for the next object, we will have Squidward, age 51.
Mhm.
GPA 2.5. Then lastly, we'll have Sandy. Name, Sandy. Let's make Sandy 27. GPA, of course, it's going to be 4.0. I would like to sort this array of objects by each person's age. We'll take our array of objects that's stored within people, use the built-in sort method, use our arrow function, a, comma, b, arrow. We'll take parameter a, that's person 1, dot access their age property, minus parameter b, access their age property. And that's all you got to do. Now let's console.log our people. There we are. We have Sandy, who's the youngest, then SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward. For reverse order, you'll just change a to be b and b to be a.
Mhm. Age is not defined. Right, and yeah, that seems to be in order. Squidward is the oldest, Sandy youngest, SpongeBob comes second, and Patrick third. Or second to last.
Squidward, Patrick, SpongeBob, Sandy. Or we can sort by different property. Let's do GPA this time. A.GPA, B.GPA. We have Patrick with the lowest GPA, followed by Squidward, SpongeBob, Sandy. Then reverse order would be B.GPA minus A.GPA. Sandy, SpongeBob, Squidward, Patrick. Let's try sorting by the name property and see what happens. A.name minus B.name. We have SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, Sandy. But that doesn't seem to make sense. These aren't in
Yeah.
alphabetical order. If you need to sort by a property that contains a string within an object, there's a different formula. We will take A.name, using the built-in local compare method, compare to B.name. This method will examine two strings per lexicographic order. Now these are all arranged lexicographically, starting with Patrick, then Sandy, SpongeBob, Squidward. For reverse lexicographic order, we would take B.name.localCompare, then examine A.name. I've just now realized that there's a lot of SpongeBob characters whose first name starts with an S, like we have 3 right here. Squidward, SpongeBob, Sandy, Patrick. Alright everybody, so that is the sort method. It's used to sort elements of an array in place. It sorts elements as strings in lexicographic order, not alphabetical. And well everybody, that is the sort method in JavaScript. Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to show you how we can shuffle the elements of an array using JavaScript. This is an optional video. You might find this topic helpful if you're interested in making a game using JavaScript or any sort of application where you need some randomness. In this example, we'll create a deck of cards. Our deck of cards will be an array. We have an A for ace, the numbers 2 through 10. Let me finish typing those in. J for jack, Q for queen, K for king. I'm not going to include any suits for these cards, such as ace of hearts, ace of clubs. That might be overkill for this example. One method you might see floating around online to shuffle the elements of an array is to use the sort method, then pass in an arrow function where you take math.random minus 0.5. I would not recommend using this method just because the results of this, such as ace of hearts, ace of clubs, that might be overkill for this example. One method you might see floating around online to shuffle the elements of an array is to use the sort method, then pass in an arrow function.
Alright, okay. Because, yeah, I see how that would
Where
work.
you take math.random minus 0.5. I would not recommend using this method just because the results of this method aren't perfectly uniform. Let me console.log cards. This array appears shuffled, but it's not that uniform. But not only that, the larger the array becomes, this method becomes increasingly more inefficient. I would not recommend using the sort method to shuffle an array. Instead, I would recommend using the Fisher-Yates algorithm. We'll create a dedicated function for this. So we will define a function to shuffle. There will be one parameter, an array. Then to invoke this function, we'll type the function name, pass in our array of cards. So what do we want to do exactly? We're first going to loop through the elements of this array. We'll start at the end and work our way towards the beginning. We'll use a for loop to decrement. So within our shuffle function, we'll create a for loop. We will declare index of I, let I equal our array dot length. Then minus 1. That's the first statement. Our array has 13 elements, but the last index is 12 because arrays start with 0. If the array's length is 13, we need to subtract 1 to get 12, which would give us the ending index of 12. We'll continue this loop as long as I is greater than 0. Then I minus minus to decrement. Now we have to generate a random number between the end and the beginning, somewhere within this range. We'll create const random. Random will store a random number. Take math.random method times I, our index, plus 1. We'll need to round this number. We're now going to enclose this equation with math.floor to round down. Math.floor, and enclose this equation. Alright, during the first iteration of this loop, we should generate a random number between the end and the beginning. We'll swap our king with a random element within this array. So to swap two elements of this array, we can use destructuring. In this context, to use destructuring, we'll take our original position, array at index of I.
And we let me just guess, we just shuffle it like for all the elements, and we get I get a shuffle deck of cards. So C 4 cards dot hang. We'll need to use array. Yeah. We'll do I is greater than 0. I minus minus. Random number is gonna be. So basically, we'll generate a random index between 0 and between 0 and I plus 1. Why I plus 1? So if you reach the end, let's say there are 5 elements in the array. We'll begin at we won't begin at, even if we begin at 5, since we're going down, it won't necessarily be 5. Hmm.
During our first iteration, that will be the king. We'll swap our king with our array at a random index, the one that will be randomly generated, equals our array at index of random, comma, array at index of I. Then to finish using the structure,
what does math dot random times I plus what give us? So if we have an array of length 5 elements in it, I would be 5 at first to 6. So math dot random times 6 should give me a number between 0 and 4, 6, 0 and 6, right? If I floor it down, I might get the index. There's a chance I might get the index as 5, but an index of 5 would not work. Let's just let's see. It does do +1, right? Yeah. So if I floor this number down, I let 5. 5 would not necessarily work. One, two, three, four, 5, and we'll just console.log I. It does begin with 5.
we need to enclose both sides of this equation with an array. There, and that will swap two elements of your array. Now, if I run this program, this will shuffle the elements of my array. I would recommend using a dedicated shuffle function, because in a game, it's likely you're going to shuffle something more than once throughout that game. Like I said, this isn't a necessary topic to continue on with the series, but if you're ever interested in making a game using JavaScript or need some element of randomness, well then this function would work great. And that is how to shuffle the elements of an array using JavaScript.
Hold on a second. Math.flow 5.5 returns 5. But if I take array of 5, that would not work. And he's even taking array I. So if I take because I would definitely be 5 at first, right? We even double check that in such a case. If I take array 5, it's not gonna work, right? It does end up working there somehow. So you know what? I'm just gonna do console.log console.log array I. Surprise if this works. It ends with undefined and 5432.
Well, it's up, need some element of randomness.
And what are someone in the shuffle? someone has mentioned shuffle here. Or is it? It's inside there. Hmm. Okay, let's just go with this for now. See. So, what you doing? Mat dot random times I plus 1. Okay, and then we just swap these two. Array I, comma, array random, array random, comma, array I. And let's see, shuffle array. Okay, and we print out array. Ah, there we go. That did not work. Both. I mean, it's not. It's bad that it did not work, but that was expected. Why did it work for him though? Maybe it's I typed something wrong here. Let I equal array dot length minus. Oh, he does subtract one from here. And why are you adding one here? You can just remove this, right? And this should work. That did not work. Okay. I guess yeah. If he subtracts one, it makes sense. We'll just add one here. Great. That's working
Now
now.
then this function would work great. And that is how to shuffle the elements of an array using JavaScript. What's up, everybody? So in today's video,
Anyway,
we're going to explore date objects in JavaScript. Date
my
objects are
intuition
objects
was
that contain
right.
values that represent dates and times. These date objects can be changed and formatted to suit our needs. Here's an example. We will create a date object that contains the current date and time. To do so, let's create a constant named date. Date will be an object. We will call the date constructor with the new keyword, date. Then pass in no arguments for the current date and time. So I'm going to console.log my date object, which gives me my current date and time. As of right now, I'm filming this video on a Thursday, November 9th, the year 2023, at about 7 in the morning. So depending on when you're watching this video, the date and time is going to be different. If you would like to create your own custom date and time object, you'll have to pass in some arguments. You can follow this order for the date constructor. The first argument corresponds to a year, then month, day, hour, minute, second, and milliseconds even. So for the year, let's say 2024. The month, 0 corresponds to January, 1 is February, then that means a month of 11 is December. Let's say January, so that will be 0. For the day, 1 for the first. For the hour, 2 in the morning. This is a military time, by the way. For the minute, 3 minutes after the hour. For the seconds, 4 seconds after the minute. We can even add milliseconds if we would like. So for the milliseconds, let's say 5. And here's my new date object. Monday, January 1st, 2024, about 2 in the morning.
Closures are like you give two functions, and there's an inner and outer function, and the outer function gets called first, but it still has access to the environment, like to the variables inside it, as if it were defined outside.
Passing in a string representation of time to the date constructor is also valid. Let's say the year is 2024.
Hey, our
January
viewer
2nd.
count is
For
at
the time, you're
2.
going to type T for time.
Hey to who is
12,
watching,
10,
welcome to my
and Z for
stream.
UTC time. And there's my new date again. Tuesday, January 2nd,
Is
2024, 6 in the
doing
morning.
some
Another thing I can use is within the
JavaScript.
date constructor. Pass in a given amount of time in milliseconds since epic. If I could describe epic, I would describe it as when the date your computer thinks time began. If you were to pass in 0 to the date constructor,
Sorry, what's that? 0.
given amount of time in milliseconds since epic. If I could describe epic, I would describe it as when the date your computer thinks is within the day or UTC time. January 2nd. For the time, you're going to type T for a string representation of time to the date constructor is also valid. Let's say the year is 2024. January 2nd. For the time, you're going to type T for time. 12 noon. Then add Z for UTC time. And there's my new date again. Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024, 6 in the morning. Another format you can use is within the date constructor, pass in a given amount of time in milliseconds since epic. If I could describe epic, I would describe it as when the date your computer thinks time began. If you were to pass in 0 to the date constructor, you'll be given a date and time around December 31st, 1969.
Alright, okay. Oh, so if we just pass in So what you're telling me is that if I just do something like this would give me an epoch time. Yeah, there you go.
So within the day constructor, you can pass in a given amount of milliseconds since this date. So if I was to pass in 1.7 billion milliseconds, what I'm telling the day constructor is, give me the date and time that's 1.7 billion milliseconds since that epoch date. When I pass in 1.7 billion milliseconds, the date that I'm given is Tuesday, November 14th, 2023, about 4 p.m. Passing in milliseconds would be good for some sort of timer. Now let's use the current date and time. I will pass in no arguments. You can extract individual values from a date object. I would like the year. Const year equals take our date object. I will use the get full year method to get the year. Then I will
Let's do that
console.log
real quick.
the year, and this will be a number, 2023. Let's get the month. Const month equals our date object. Use the built-in get month method. Then I will console.log the month. Currently for me it's November, not October. So remember, January is 0. December is
I thought it would be
Let's get the day.
some property
Const
rather
day
than a
equals date.
method.
Get date, not day. If you get the day, that will give you the day of the week, like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that sort of thing. Let's console.log the day. So for me, it's the 9th. Let's get the hour. Const hour equals date. Get hours, plural. Console.log the hour. For me, it's 7 in the morning. Let's get minutes. Const minutes equals get minutes. Console.log the minutes. It is 7:45 in the morning. Get seconds. Get seconds. Console.log the seconds.
Do this.
So 7:45, 21 seconds after the minute. Now, if you need the day of the week, here's what you can do. Const day of week equals date, get day. That will give you the day of the week. Console.log day of week. For me, that is 4. Sunday is 0, Monday is 1, so that means it is Thursday. Now, with the date object, you can even set the date with a method. Let's console.log.
Hold on a second. Let me see what the results are for all of this. Before we move on. Day of week. Today is Friday, so it should be what does it start at? Sunday is 0. So it should be 5. Let's see if that's the case or not. So of course we need to provide a variable here. And variable name here. Alright. So let's just quickly console.log all of this. And console.log and use a template little, just for the sake of it. No. Yeah, do it properly. The S. Okay, let's see if that worked. Yep, year 2024, Monday, date. Wait, month 8? Month is 9? Oh, I think it follows 0 indexing maybe. Show that to me again. Gets the month of a data using universal. Get month. I'm. It should probably start in JavaScript. Probably it will start in, yeah, there we go. It's from 0 to 11. So that makes sense. Even day of week is it follows that pattern. But I expect that because for me Monday is the first day of a week, so rather than Sunday. Then day is 27, yeah. 16, Yep. Yep. Okay, cool. So need to be wary of the month and get the starting from or following the 0 index apparently. Yeah, let's continue.
So that means it is Thursday. Now with the date object, you can even set the date with a method. Let's console.log the date. I'm gonna set the year. Date set full year. I will set the year to be 2024. Yep, Saturday, November 9th, 2024. Let's set the month. Set month. I will set the month to be January, so I will pass in 0. Tuesday, January 9th. Let's set
What happens if you maybe they have getters and setters in Bell, so it might throw an error if I do Um, yeah, I received a call there. Take it after this. We set month to that would that should throw some kind of error, right? Oh, interesting. It went to January, like it crossed December, which was 11, and then so if I do 13, it goes to February. Right, I didn't expect that. I expected an error to happen
Set the
with
day.
that.
That would
All
be
right.
date Tuesday,
Another
21st,
one of
January
those
1st.
JavaScript quirks, I guess.
The hours with set hours. Let's go with 2 for 2 in the morning. Set minutes. 3 minutes past the hour. Set seconds. 4 seconds past the minute. You can even compare dates as well. Let's create 2 date objects. Const date1 equals a new date. I'll pass in a string representation of a date. We won't include the time though. For the year, let's say 2023. December, that would be 12/31st. New Year's Eve, basically. And for date 2, let's say date 2 is New Year's Day. 2024, January 1st. Using an if statement, let's compare to see if date 2 is greater than date 1. If it is, then let's console.log Happy New Year. So date 2 is greater than date 1. We'll print Happy New Year. Let's change date 2 to be 2023, December 30th. Well, nothing happens then, but that's to be expected. Alright, everybody, so those are date objects. They're objects that contain value. 30th.
Oh, we can compare. Oh, compare them directly. Yeah.
Well, nothing happens then, but that's to be expected. Alright, everybody, so those are date objects. They're objects that contain values that represent dates and times. These date objects can be changed and formatted to suit our needs. And well, everybody, those are date objects in JavaScript. Hey,
Great.
what's going on, everybody? So in today's video, I got to explain closures in JavaScript. A closure is a function defined inside of another function. The inner function has access to the variables and scope of the outer function. By using closures, they'll...
I think most of programming is just there are these concepts which just get every time you learn a new language, the same concepts just get reused again. Since I already know Python quite well, uh, most of these topics are just we just come here or like this applies for any new language that we learn. It's the syntax and stuff that we learn more. Except if you're going from something like Python to C, whereas like the learning curve is way high.
allow for private variables and state maintenance. JS libraries and frameworks such as React, Vue, and Angular use closures all of the time. You'll see closures fairly often with function-based components. You have functions inside of other functions. Let me give you a very basic example.
Let me just read that. So function, okay. I want to read from this part. Allows for private variables and state maintenance, used frequently in JS frameworks such as React, Vue, and Angular. Allows for private variables. That's the
We'll have another function
yeah.
named outer. Within the outer function, we'll have a function named inner. The inner function has access to everything within the outer function, this scope. If I was to create a variable, let message equal the word hello. Within my inner function, I can use this message variable. Console.log my message. Now, if I invoke the outer function, nothing appears to happen. When we call the outer function, we're now within the scope. But then what? There's one of a few things we could do. If I would like to call the inner function from within the outer function, I would need to call it somewhere here. Let's call the inner function at the end. There we go. We have displayed the word hello. Everything within the outer function is part of a closure. We have a function defined inside of a function. This inner function has access to everything within that scope, including this message variable. One benefit of using closures is that any variables are considered private. Outside of the outer function, I will attempt to update our message. Message equals goodbye. Now, this doesn't work, as you can see. This message variable is in a different scope. It's kind of like it's in another dimension. What we've done here is we have created a different message variable in a different scope. Outside of the outer scope, I have no way of accessing the message variable. So that's one of the benefits of closures. You can encapsulate variables and make them private. Let me give you another example. A closure can maintain the state of a variable. We'll create a counter program. You can encapsulate variables and make them private. Let me give you another example. A closure can maintain the state of a variable. We'll create a counter program. So I'm going to create a function to increment. Within the increment function, I will set a count variable. You can encapsulate variables and make them private. Let me give you another example.
Does that work?
A closure can maintain the state of a variable. We'll create a counter program. So I'm going to create a function to increment. Within the increment function, I will set a count variable equal to 0. I will increment our count by 1, then console.log. I'll use a template string. Count increased to, I'll add a placeholder. We'll display our count variable. Now, anytime I attempt to call the increment function, it'll increase our count by 1. But if I was to execute this function again, well, we're redeclaring this variable of count. We're resetting it every time we call this function. I can't get the count to go back to 1 because we keep on resetting it. But by using a closure, we can have state maintenance. We can maintain the state of this variable and remember what this variable was previously. I mean, I could take this variable and declare it outside of the function, but then we don't have any security for that variable.
Oh, so what you're trying to tell me is that I can do something like this to bring about that feature. I can have a function which is like log count, and if I this for that, and if I call log count, and if I call increment, call it one more time. Okay, then what's that? Oh, there's just too much sunlight. I did see the message that what's that? It's from. Oh, hey there. It's from Tommy. He's a returning follower. I'm doing well. What about you? It's been a long time since I have streamed. I started yesterday, or kind of restarted yesterday. I'm doing good. What about you? All good? Maybe adjust this. Yeah, we have crossed the halfway mark now, so that's good.
I will set the count
Just
equal to
continuing
1
with
million.
this learning
We're maintaining
about
the state of that
closures.
variable,
Mhm.
but it's not private. Anybody and anything can access and change that variable. A closure maintains the state of a variable and makes it private. What we'll do is enclose all of this code within another function. We'll create a function to create a counter. How do we access the scope within the create counter function? Here's another possibility. We will return an object. We will need a set of curly braces. Our object will have a property of increment, and its associated value will be a reference to increment. There is a shorthand version of this. You can just use the function name as a property.
Wait, hold on a second. I need to look at that again. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Glad to see that you're back, by the
How do we
way.
access the scope within the create counter function? Here's another possibility. We will return an object. We will need a set of curly braces. Our object will have a property of increment, and its associated value will be a reference to increment. There is a shorthand version of this. You can just use the function name as a property. We're returning an object with a method of increment.
I don't get the point of. I mean, closures are good, but oh, maybe this is not a beginner. I guess this is a beginner course, but closures are not necessarily needed in like a beginner course, you know.
So now there is a shorthand version of this. You can just use the function name as a property. We're returning an object with a method of increment. So now I'm going to create an object named counter. Counter equals invoke the create counter function. This will return an object that has an increment method. So I'm going to take our counter object, use the increment method. Count increase.
Oh, and that way there's no way for us to access the count variable, but yet at the same time, you know, that variable does exist. We can't change it. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe it's used way more in you know, these three modules: React, Vue, Angular. Maybe it's used way more in JavaScript in general, perhaps. We'll have to see. Anyhow, so what was I about to do? Yeah, let's create the increment function here. Uh, say, Tommy, you were the one who said you made a ukulele like album kind of website, right? You did not send me the link. Oh, you were the one, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, please. So, let's see. So, we return the function here, and we put this in. And we do this. and there's nowhere for me to access or change the count variable as such. Just look at that. Paid counter is not defined. Of course, I need to rename this. And yeah, that's pretty cool, I should say. Alright, so you're the one. You're still working on it. Okay, when you publish it, do send me the link. I'll be happy to check it out. How did you create? Is it like what languages and libraries did you use?
One, not only do we have an increment method, we have a count variable as well. You can
Is
say
it
that
a
all the
JS app, a Python app, or
function, it's very similar to creating a class. We can use classes to instantiate objects. In this case, we used a function to return an object. So if I was to take my counter and increment it again, our closure should maintain the state of that variable count. Count increased to 2. It's not resetting every time we call the method. Count increased to 3. Let's attempt to access our count variable. Counter.count equals 0. Then I will console.log our count. Reference error, count is not defined.
yeah?
Let's attempt to display our count variable. Console.log, take our counter object, access the count variable. It is undefined. We don't know what it is.
Oh, what's that? Of course, yeah. HTML and CSS. Oh, you mean it's not like is it you just build the front end or like it's just what's it? Just a static website? Is that what you meant?
It's hidden. Your closure can have more than one function. So what we'll do is create a get count function. We'll use the get count function to return our count if we need access to it. Function get count. We will return our count variable. Within the return statement, we're returning an object. We will add another property of a reference to the get count function. So now within our counter, we have a method to get the count variable. Let's console.log. I'll use a template string. The current count is, I'll add a placeholder, take our counter object, use the get count method. The current count is
Just to so we can access the variable, but we can't ever change it by doing this. It's either a static website or you're just messing around with me. Like every website is built with HTML and CSS. Yeah, do tell me a bit more. So let me do this, and this would return count.
3. If I was to increment our counter again, well, that increased to 4. Alright, last example. We're going to create a closure for a game where we keep track of points. We have a score. Let score equal 0. We'll define the functions.
Was that I'm writing code to create it using GitHub and editors. You're writing code to create it using GitHub and editors. I mean, what do you mean by editors? Like VS Code, or I didn't quite get you. Do you mean you're making something like Wix or WordPress? You know those Wait, yeah. So you mean you're using VS Code to write the code? VS Code. Okay, okay. So again, is it just HTML and CSS? Like, is it like a static website which let me just show you. um so is it like a static website like this? Let me just open it up in Chrome. Yeah, so I was saying, is it like a static website in the sense there is no JavaScript or anything, and it's just a website which it's just a front end as such. Is that what you're building, or no? That's my question for you. Okay, so let me go back to this.
Function increase score.
Then use. Oh, my screen is like with the sunlight. I can't read without going near it. You use Node.js. What is what did you spell after editor? What's it? Sock? SPCK. Did you misspell that? So you are like just creating the front end part of it, and once you do that, you intend to like create an app out of it. Is that what you're saying? Then go ahead get you that. Let's
We'll have one
continue
parameter,
in the
points.
meantime.
In order to score some points, we have to pass in some points as an argument. Take our score plus equals our points. Then let
Social media website for music instruments. Yeah. So basically, you're just building the front end now, and later you will apply the logic and stuff. Is what you're saying, right? Like connect it to a database, or maybe use some kind of framework.
let's console.log. I'll use a template string plus add a placeholder, our points. Then I'll add PTS, meaning points. It's shortened. Let's create a function for decrease score. Change increase.
You know,
decrease.
whatever it is, once
Score
it's
minus
once you've published it, do send it out to me. I'm eager to see it.
Points minus points. And then let's get our score. Function get score. Return the score. If I need to increase the score, I will invoke the increase score.
What's he
points.
trying to do
Let's
now?
score. We'll have score equals 0. We'll define the functions. Function increase score. We'll have one parameter, points. In order to score some points, we have to pass in some points as an argument. Take our score plus equals our points.
Yes. Okay. SPCK. Oh, alright, okay. SPCK. Why can't I again? What is this about? So, editor lets you write code wherever, quickly change code snippets, review them, and commit to any Git repository with this tiny. From your phone, huh? So it comes with everything. Like you can do it through your phone or tablet. That's good to know. But so you just made the front end part of it and all. You're going to work on the connecting it with Git, publishing it there and stuff. I mean, what made you choose this like this though? Like why not build it in a why build it in a app as such? It's just
Then let's console.
I think you're up
I'll
for
use
a
template string
challenge maybe.
plus add placeholder.
Like, it would be really hard,
Add
right, to
PTS,
build
meaning
it
points. It's shortened.
or build
Score,
anything
increase score.
really in a phone or a tablet.
Change increase to decrease. Score minus equals points minus points. And then let's get our score. Function get score. Return the score. If I need to increase the score, I will invoke the increase score function. But I have to pass in points. We scored 5 points. Let's do this again. We scored 6 points. Let's.
Oh, geez, I need to do something about the sunlight coming in. Even though I have a film, it just gets my screen just gets like too lit up. What's that? Affordable and has everything I need. Yeah, of course. Do you find it hard though, like building it? Like I have personally never built a thing in phone or tablet. Is it hard or I did see reminds like what your let me just show this to you. It reminds me of you had watched from da, 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 building an app on John. Was it yeah, reminds me of this video of coding a whole web app only using my phone. Anyway, whatever it is you're doing, best of luck. And once it's done, send it out to me. I'll be more than happy to check it out. It's interesting too. So it is, you do, not too bad, but I'm used to it. Hey, cool. And as I mentioned, once it's done, send it out to me. Man, where was I? Yeah, why is he trying to create functions all of a sudden?
And plus, you have one parameter, points. In order to score some points, we have to pass in some points as an argument. Take our score plus equals our points. Then let's console.log. I'll use a template string plus add a placeholder, our points. Then I'll add PTS, meaning points. It's shortened. Let's create a function for decrease score. Change increase to decrease. Score minus equals points minus points. And then let's get our score. Function get score. Return the score. If I need to increase the score, I will invoke the increase score function. But I have to pass in points. We scored 5 points. Let's do this again. We scored 6 points. Let's decrease the score. I will subtract 3 points. Minus 3 points. Let's get the current score. Console.log. I'll use a template string. The final score is, add a placeholder, get score. The final score is 8. I'm going to add points after that. 8 points. All right, problem with this is that we can take our score
and alter it. So he's trying to show us why use closure. So if you wrap this around a function, then you can't alter score anymore. Like it's not possible to do that.
And set it to anything.
Good for security, I guess.
Points. So for some security, let's enclose all of this code within a closure. I'll create an outer function. Function create game. This will return an object. Let's cut all of this code, paste it within the outer function of create game.
I have a feeling closures are used way more in JavaScript than in Python.
We need curly braces for that. A reference to increase score, decrease score, and get score. So now, I will use the create game function to return an object. Const game. Game will be our object. We will invoke the create game function and return an object. So now if I want to increase the score, decrease it, or get the score, I have to use the methods of this object. Game.increaseScore, game.decreaseScore, and game.getScore. We have 5 points, 6 points, minus 3 points, and then we have the final score of 8 points. Well, everybody, those are closures. Think of them as a function defined inside of another function. The inner function has access to the variables and scope of the outer function. These are used frequently with JS libraries and frameworks such as React, Vue, and Angular, especially when you work with function-based components. And well, everybody, those are closures in JavaScript.
Hey, well, not too many people in here, but still, just a quick question for you. What's your idea on like, do you know of any solutions to block the sunlight as such? Because right now the entire screen and everything is just too little bit. It's still workable, but and I have attached like the sun films out there. I've even attached that, but it's not. It is way good than what it was before. Like without the sun film, I can't even stream. It gets way too hot here. Do you have any solution or something? What's that, Tommy? I love bro code videos. Legit. Yeah. I mean, before I started this course, I did mention that I had used bro code to, and this was way back, to learn SQL, like years back. Yeah, he's pretty good. He is like I don't know if you've seen Fireship, but in a more like the way he delivers is like Fireship is similar to Fireship's video, but of course it's more tutorial based. He teaches things, whereas Fireship is more so focused on what's going on in the tech world. Anyway, that was my rant on the sunlight and stuff. Yeah. If anyone in, if yeah, I mean, if you know some method or something, do let me know. It
Hey,
is
what's going on, people?
okay
So in
though.
today's video, I'm going to
Yeah.
explain the
It
set
isn't
timeout
the
function
end
in
of the
JavaScript.
world or
The set timeout
anything.
function allows you to schedule the execution of a function after an amount of time in milliseconds. The times are approximate. They vary based on the workload of your JavaScript runtime environment. I would recommend using set timeout for anything precise like a stopwatch. It's an approximation. To use the set timeout function, you pass in a callback to a function and a delay in milliseconds. Here's an
What
example.
broke
I will
code?
create a function to say hello. All we're going to do is window.alert the word hello.
Yeah, so I was about to say, what broke code tutorial have you seen before then?
I will use the set timeout function, pass in a callback. We'll pass in a callback to say hello, then execute it after 3,000 milliseconds. So 3 seconds. Let's see if this works. 1, 2, 3, hello. An anonymous function works too. So instead of a callback, we'll use an anonymous function. Function, parentheses, curly braces, window.alert, the word hello. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, hello. Or even an arrow function. We have parameters, arrow, what are we going to do? Window.alert, the word hello. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, hello. You can use the clear timeout function to cancel a timeout before it triggers, but we have to pass in a timeout ID. So what we'll do with this set timeout function is assign it to an ID stored within a variable or constant. Const timeout ID equals our set timeout function. That'll display the word hello. I can clear this timeout with the clear timeout function, but I have to pass in that ID as an argument. Immediately after calling the set timeout function, we will cancel it. Let's try it. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000.
I knew that set timeout exists, but didn't know about this ID feature, which exists apparently.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
And
We canceled it. All right, what we'll
cancel what? Oh, of course, I restarted again. Right. Okay, an alert popped up, and if I clear the timeout, it cancels the entire
this time is create a button using
function,
HTML.
huh?
When we click on the button, we'll set a timeout.
We never so I'll be right back. Do you check on something real quick? Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that.
So,
all right.
let's clear all of this.
Kind
Go
of
to our
new
HTML file.
here.
We'll create a button. The button will have text of start. And I'm going to zoom in. I will set the onClick attribute to equal a function. We
Quick thing. I don't know if you would still be around. When you come back. Like I'll be ending the stream and like after this, before the start of the digital clock program. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It means a lot.
will start a timer, then add a set of parentheses. When we click on the button, do this function.
I
So
can't
within our JavaScript file,
can't
we
see
will create
anything.
a
I need
start
to do
timer
something
function.
about it.
Function start timer. We will set timeout. I'll use an arrow function. Let's window.alert the word. We will display the word hello after 3,000 milliseconds. All right, so nothing's going to happen until I click the button. I'm going to click it now. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, hello. Let's create a second button to the button. I'm getting we will display the word hello after 3,000 milliseconds. All right, so nothing's going to happen until I click the button. I'm going to click it now. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000, hello. Let's create a second button to the button. Alert set. We start a timer. We'll create a button at a timeout to display the word hello. We can I can out 1000, 2, 1000 braces. An anonymous function works too. So instead of a callback, we'll use an anonymous function. Where do we 1000 ID? So what we'll do with this set timeout function is assign it to an ID stored within a variable or constant. Const timeout ID equals our set timeout function. That'll display the word hello. I can clear this timeout with the clear timeout function, but I have to pass in that ID as an argument. Immediately after calling the set timeout function, we will cancel it. Let's try it. 1, 1000, 2, 1000, 3, 1000. Yeah, nothing's happening. We canceled it. All right, what we'll do this time is create a button using HTML. When we click on the button,
finally, it's been so long since we
set a timeout
created
display the word
something in
hello.
HTML for this course.
Let's clear all of this, go to our HTML file, we'll create a button. The button will have text of start. And I'm going to zoom in. I will set the onClick attribute to equal a function. We will start a timer, then add a set of parentheses. When we click on the button,
I know doing using one click here isn't the best practice, but we'll just use it for the time being.
Button, do this function. So within our JavaScript file, we will create a start timer function. Function start timer. We will set timeout. I'll use an arrow function. Let's window dot alert the word. We will display the word hello after 3,000 milliseconds. All right, so nothing's gonna happen until I click the button. I'm gonna click it now. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Hello. Let's create a second button to clear the timeout if we need to stop it. Let's copy our first button. 1,000. Hello. Let's create a second button.
Okay, and yeah, there we go.
To clear the timeout if we need to stop it. Let's copy our first button, paste it, change the text of the button to be clear. We will clear the timeout, but we'll need another function. Clear timer. So there's our second button. We'll need a timeout ID. So outside of this function, I will declare a variable of let timeout ID. When we start our timer, we will assign the set timeout function an ID of timeout ID. Then we can stop it using this ID. We will create a function to clear the timer. We're going to use the clear timeout function, clear timeout. We need to pass out a timeout ID as an argument, which we will do. And then just to be sure that everything works within both these functions, let's console.log something. Let's say the word started within our start timer. And within our clear timer, let's display the word. Cleared. Just so we know that these functions were called. So I'm going to save everything. I'm going to start the timer, but not clear it. Let's start now. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Hello. Let's go to our console.
Okay, let's see if this works now. So, if I click on start and if I clear it immediately, it shouldn't work anymore. But if I click on start, wait for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. That thing pops up and yeah, it works, all right.
And it says that we started. Well, starter. I clearly can't spell today. Started. We're going to start, then cancel. Start, 1,000, 2,000, clear. And nothing happened. Let's go to our console, inspect, console. We started set timeout, and then we cleared it. All right, everybody, that is the set timeout function. It's a function in JavaScript that allows you to schedule the execution of a function after an amount of time in milliseconds. Execution time may vary based on the workload of the JavaScript runtime environment. And well, everybody, that is the set timeout function in JavaScript.
I like how the end of it was like those you know, terms and conditions things. Like in certain apps they have to say it and they just go like really fast. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, people? So
okay. Before we start this project, I'm gonna end the stream here. Yeah, we reached the 7-hour mark, so we completed an hour's worth of content here. And yeah, I'm really happy with all the things that we've learned in this stream. And the next one, it's gonna be about projects, hopefully, and then we'll get into more JS, and then oh, seems like we have a calculator program here. Anyhow, I'll be ending the stream now. Again, thank you, Tommy, for being here. I really appreciate it, and yeah, and thanks to everyone who are in the stream and watch this stream here. And with that being said, I'm gonna end this stream, and this is me, Shahjahan AI, signing off. Till next time.